everyone. You are watching Eagle News International Italy Edition. I am Jeromia San Vicente Abad, and here are today's news headlines. British Prime Minister offers chance of Brexit delay. Pope Francis opens summit on child protection. United Kingdom Prime Minister Theresa May promised to allow Parliament to delay Brexit by up to 3 months so that Britain would not crash out of the European Union without a deal on the scheduled departure date of March 29th. The beleaguered British leader told Parliament she would offer MPs the chance to vote on March 14 on a, quote, short and limited, unquote, extension of the March 29 deadline if her own divorce proposal failed to win lawmakers' support by March 12. But she also cautioned that the extra time would not help negotiations and that she herself opposed any delay.
I do not want to see Article 50 extended. Our absolute focus should be on working to get a deal and leaving on the 29th of March. An extension cannot take no deal off the table. The only way to do that is to revoke Article 50, which I shall not do, or agree a deal.
This dramatic reversal in May's steadfast Brexit strategy came after threats of mass resignations from her own ministers and calls for a second referendum on Britain's EU membership from the main opposition Labour Party. The rebel ministers were all backing a proposed parliamentary amendment that would force May to set a new Brexit date if she fails to get better terms on the disputed issue of the Irish border. It saw the pound rally to its highest level since May 2017 against the euro and since October 12 against the dollar, as investor fears of imminent trade gridlock and financial market mayhem eased. Catholic leader Pope Francis opened a summit on child protection after recent church scandal surfaced. Here's Joy Maranan for more.
Head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, opened a landmark Vatican summit on fighting child sex abuse, calling for concrete measures and handing top Vatican bishops a roadmap to tackling pedophilia inside the church.
He handed out a 21-point list of guidelines, which included suggestions such as drawing up mandatory codes of conduct for priests, training people to spot abuse, and informing the police. The ongoing scandals have escalated into a crisis which has touched many countries across the globe, with recent cases affecting Chile, Germany, and the United States of America. In the latest case, a group supporting victims of pedophilia priests in Poland released a report documenting nearly 400 cases of sex abuse by clerics in this staunchly Catholic country. The scale of the task has been further complicated by the fact that some churches, in Asia and Africa in particular, deny that the problem exists. Within these 3 days and a half of the summit, the 82-year-old pontiff hopes to raise awareness through prayers, speeches, working groups, and testimonies from victims.
From the Vatican here in Rome, Italy, reporting for Eagle News, I am Frances Jamaranan and I am 1 with 25.
Those were our top stories. Stay with us with lifestyles and sports when we return.
Hello everyone, I am Zavina Daniel Balsira, and here are today's lifestyle features for this episode. Belgian correspondents Maria Delsin and Kate Rebibis will now take us on a tour in the city of Bruges. Let's take a look.
Kate Rebibis, Maria Delsin here. We are currently visiting one of Europe's commercial and cultural capitals, Bruges, whose city center is a World Heritage Site of UNESCO. Let's discover together the unique story this city has to tell.
centers of Belgium. The city's official language is Flemish Dutch, which is a dialect of the Dutch language. In Flemish, we say the city's name as Brugge, and in French as Bruges. But where did the city get its name from?
Well, apparently the city was founded by the Vikings back in the 9th century, and Bruges comes from the Old Scandinavian word Brugge, which means harbor or mooring place. Bruges is a city which has a rise, fall, and rise again story. Back in the 12th century, the city thrived in its outports, wares, and internationally acclaimed Flemish cloth, but soon lost its status in the 15th century when the larger harbor of Antwerp was built.
But in the 1900s, Bruges boomed once again and became an international tourist destination. Its medieval buildings, more than 80 bridges and cobble streets, made the city also known as the small Venice of the monks.
Behind us, you have the City Hall of Bruges, one of the oldest owned halls of the Low Countries, also known as Benelux. This is where the city has been governed for over 600 years.
The Gothic Hall is really breathtaking with its 19th century murals and polychrome vaults.
Just a few meters from the City Hall, we have the Brugge, or in English, the Liberty of Bruges. The Liberty of Bruges used to be a law court, but now holds the city's archives. Up next, one of the city's most famous symbols, the Belfry of Bruges. It's an 83-meter tall medieval commercial building found in the center of the marketplace, with a pavilion of 47 melodious bells. The Belfry was used as a lookout tower for any kind of danger, such as fire or wars. And to commemorate the heroes that battled for freedom in the 14th century, the city had put up a statue of young Gretel and Peter the Koning in front of the Belfry. Make sure to put Bruges in your travel bucket list. We can assure you that there's much more to the city than what meets the eye.
I am Kate Ribibis,
Maria Dawson,
your EBC correspondents, and always one with 25.
Next, we'll get to see some of the prettiest subway stations in Moscow with our correspondent Sunshine Bumanlag.
Roaming around Moscow City, are you wondering why you may see red letter M on the street? The Moscow Metro is a rapid transit system serving Moscow, Russia and the neighboring Moscow Oblast cities of Krasnogorsk, Ryutov, Lubertsy and Kotolniki. Opened in 1935 with one 11-kilometer line and 13 stations. It was the first underground railway system in the Soviet Union. As of 2018, the Moscow Metro, excluding the Moscow Central Circle and the Moscow Monorail, has 224 stations, and its route length is 381 km, making the 5th longest in the world. The system is mostly underground, with the deepest section 84 meters underground at the Park Pobedi station, one of the world's deepest. These are some beautiful and magnificent metro stations may stun and catch your heart. Kyievskaya, a favorite of Regent Holidays, General Manager Andrea, this white marbled station is bursting with elaborate artworks, precos, and mosaic depicting life in Ukraine and soldiers during the October Revolution and the Civil War. Mayakovskaya, considered by many to be the jewel in the Moscow metro crown. Ploshad Revolucji. This impressive station, opened in 1948, features no less than 78 magnificent bronze statues of soldiers, farmers, school children, workers, and a whole host of other characters who helped defend the Soviet nation. One of the statues, a dog, is said to bring good luck to those who rub its nose. How to use Moscow metro system? Moscow metro system not only beautiful, clean and safe, it is also cheap way to get around Moscow. Ticket price will surely surprise you. A one-way ticket or one-trip ticket costs 55 rubles, less than $1, regardless of the length of the trip. You'll need a ticket only once at the entrance of the metro. At the ticket booth, you can buy tickets with needing to know a word of Russian. You just need to lift your hand and hold up the number of fingers for the number of tickets you need, 1, 2, 20, or 40. After paying, the cashier will give you a card that will serve as your ticket. The majority of the stations are open from 5:30 a.m. until 1 a.m.
From Moscow, Russia, this is Sunshine Mandag, EBC correspondent, and I am 1 with 25.
Curious about the latest fashion trends? Let's find out together with our correspondent Alia Garcia for the Fashion Week in Paris.
Fashion Week is an event in Paris that happens twice a year. This is an opportunity for hundreds of fashion editors, assistants, stylists, and models descend on the French capital to see what they'll be wearing the next year. Let's say Paris is one of the big four because Paris Fashion Week has the honor of being the host of the final of every biannual fashion event that takes place here. Along with other cities like New York, London, and Milan, Paris Fashion Week is about weeks and weeks of work for the designers and for the journalists to write all about it. The official French name for Paris Fashion Week is Semaine des Créateurs de la Mode, and in accordance with its flashy name, most of the fashion weeks here in Paris take place in Carrousel du Louvre, Invalides but depending on the name brand. Chanel, Christian Dior, Givenchy exhibit their collections in the most famous Parisian locations such as the Grand Palais or the Espace Eiffel, and the less known brands in the locations such as nightclubs. Paris may not be the first place to organize an event like this, but French fashion outshined the world by its elegance and beauty, which became international. Reporting from Paris, France, I am Alia Garcia, and I am 1 with 25.
That is all for our lifestyle features. Stay tuned for sports. And I am Zavina Daniel Balsera, and I am 1 with 25.
Hi, I am Robily Malabanan, and here are our sports news for today. FIFA President Gianni Infantino declared that World Football's governing body is still pondering a 48-team 2022 World Cup in Qatar, saying that anything is possible following Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un's recent summit in Vietnam.
È chiaro che non è facile, però la decisione di andare a 48 l'abbiamo già presa, a partire dal 2026. A partire dal 2022 ovviamente la questione è diversa, però se siamo convinti che 48 sia il numero giusto, perché non provare a farlo prima?
Infantino, who will be unopposed for his re-election as the head of FIFA, floated the possibility of playing matches outside Qatar in order to accommodate the extra teams. Qatar has been in the midst of a diplomatic crisis for 2 years with its neighbors Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and United Arab Emirates, making a co-hosting option with those countries tricky to organize. The FIFA chief also stated that the Women's World Cup will change the perception of women's football, 100 days from the start of the tournament, which will take place in France starting June 7 up to July 7.
Siamo molto contenti e fieri di contribuire al, penso, rilancio totale del calcio femminile, perché sono convinto che dopo questo mondiale il modo di vedere il calcio femminile nel mondo cambierà. Ci aspettiamo 1 miliardo di telespettatori, 1.300.000 spettatori negli stadi, abbiamo già venduto più di metà dei biglietti.
India hosts the World Junior Athletics Championships in just over a year, hoping to showcase its future stars and the potential the country has to stage international athletics competitions. Athletes are training hard, but preparations for the event have stalled amid construction delays and the government's failure to deliver promised upgrades to sport facilities, including new stadiums. INT'L, which is 2,400 meters above sea level, has been the training site for Olympic medal winners including David Rudisha, the former world marathon record holder Wilson Kipsang, and current women's marathon record holder Mary Keitany. But ambitious plans to improve facilities have resulted in running tracks being closed for months and no sign of them reopening.
We don't have a training facility. You realize that for the last years we used to have a training ground here in Camarine Stadium, and of late now it is under construction. It has stalled, so all the athletes now are really suffering. We don't have an alternative track to train.
When Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta was first elected in 2013, he listed 9 stadiums to be built or refurbished. They included the famous Camarine Stadium in Iten and the 2 big stadiums in Eldoret and Kapsabet, both named after the Kenya's legendary athlete Kipchoge Keino. 6 years later, none of the stadiums are ready.
Like for example, Kipchoge Stadium has taken now over, it's almost 10 years. And we are worried also if Camarine is going to take 10 years before it's completed, then where will be the athletes in this country? Where are we? Are we be able to compete well with Ethiopians? Are we going to compete well with Ugandans who are coming up very fast? It is so hard.
As the clock ticks down to next year's championships, athletes point out that delayed government plan to upgrade facilities risk damaging a sport that brings intense national pride to the country. That is all for sports news. I am Robily Malabanan and I am 1 with 25.
This is Eaglenews International Italy edition. Join us again next time as we bring news that matter to you. Visit our website at Eaglenews.PH and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Eaglenews.PH. This is Jeromia San Vicente Abad and I am 1 with 25.